All right, new week, new week. What's up, y'all? What's up? So last week we did the 12-week streak, well, 11-week streak, I'm sorry, finally ended. So it is what it is, but that finally ended. I will kind of go through the update with y'all now, as y'all know, to kind of go through how last week turned out. It actually was a wild week. So it turned out pretty okay overall. Like basically all the trades ended up screwing us over and then kind of going in the correct direction. So we'll kind of break that down on how everything kind of turned out. Um, and then I'll show y'all what we're looking for this week, which are going to be the same trades from last week. So let's go through the updates, y'all. I hope y'all had a great weekend. For those of y'all that do celebrate Easter this upcoming weekend as well, happy Easter to you guys. Y'all have a great holiday with your family. Be safe. Outside of that, let's go ahead and get started on these charts, y'all. Okay. So we're going to start off with pretty much the DXY and how it went last week, and then what we're going to be looking at for this upcoming week. So the DXY last week, basically, we were looking at price action to retrace down into this zone, right? And then head back towards the upside. We got an extra push down into this range. And honestly, it was kind of my fault. And I would say it's my fault because of the fact that structurally, I knew that as long as price action did not basically take this low, then structurally, we're still good to go for the upside. So true invalidation was really supposed to be down here. So in all actuality, price action could have went up here or it could have went up here, right? But I was personally only expecting it to actually retrace here and then head towards the upside. So this extra push down is what got us out of those trades before the market pushed towards the upside. This push towards the upside was literally an announcement from Trump saying basically that he's about to hit Iran pretty hard. So this happened, and then the market just started to head towards the upside. So I don't know if the market was waiting the whole time to factor that in, whatever you want to call it, but that little move screwed us over. So now that y'all know that, let's kind of look at some of the other pairs as well. So EURUSD last week, we were expecting price action to retrace into this range and then head towards the downside. As y'all can see, that extra move last week is what got us. And again, this is another one that's my fault. So I just didn't expect much out of that movement for this week. I was looking for a small retracement and a continuation down, but I shorted myself by placing the stop loss here and not placing it correctly and structurally where it should have went, which should have been at least above this high minimum or at least this high overall. But I shorted myself here just because I did not think that it was going to come all the way into this range. So my fault there again. But overall, as you guys can see, we ended up working our way still towards the downside. And if I would have properly placed that, we would have, again, still been in profit right now. Or if I would have looked for a more, I would say, premium entry. But again, I didn't see it come all the way up here. So it is what it is. I can't get it all perfect, y'all. We literally went 11 weeks with just tearing the markets up, right? And even last week, we still overall got it right. We just got it right at the wrong time. And it was kind of user error on my side for shortening the stop loss. So it is what it is. But mentally, in my head, I do still feel like, okay, I still had a solid week overall because I still got it right. That's my thing. I'm not really focused on like I have nothing to prove to anybody. Again, like if I told y'all I've been trading 11 years, so it's more of a me, like a me versus me thing these days. So I just want to make sure that I can consistently get the directional bias of the market correct. And so I know personally that as of right now, I still would be correct, but I shorted myself like I told y'all. So that's kind of my fault. So it is what it is. This week, though, we're going to be going over what I will be looking at shortly. I'm going to clear this off and then we'll break it down fresh for what I'm going to be looking at for this week. And odd USD. So this was another one last week. Some of y'all might have been able to catch this. Now, on AU, what I was looking at was for price action to overall head towards the downside. And for those of y'all that caught the YouTube trade, I did not share. I'm not sure if I did or not, but I don't know if I shared the highlighter with y'all. I think I just shared the box. So some of y'all might not have even used the highlighter information. So if you didn't, then you're probably still in that. But I just wanted to kind of throw that out there. So AU, This is another one to where we were looking at potentially 2 areas. So if you did catch AU last week, then cheers to that. That turned out really well. As you can see right now, we're still about 50% plus on that, but I wasn't focusing on this one personally, but this could have been one right here. So I don't know if you count this one, we might have still, got through on this, because this is right now it's up like almost, I'm just like maybe like a 1.8 to 1 there. We did get some short-term positives on gold, so that's a bonus there. I don't think I'm going to be doing anything new on AUDUSD this week. I'm just going to be looking for that continuation towards the downside this week, and this could make a small retracement, slap that high, and then continue down, or it could just correct within that and continue down as well. But there's nothing new for AU for next week. So gold last week, this was gold. So I did share gold with y'all. Hopefully y'all were able to tear gold up. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Y'all let me know in the comments what y'all think, if we should count this week as a winning week still, because gold back and for y'all that watch the YouTube, y'all probably didn't deal with the back and forth nonsense of me kind of closing out the trade back and forth and this and that. So like, for example, gold, it retraced down and we were able to enter in. It got close to the stop loss, but we actually were able to, as you can see, make it through. And then we took some partials around this range, and then it ended up coming back around here, and then I ended up closing out the rest of it, and then it shot up. So it is what it is. But I mean, it was money made on gold. For those of y'all that weren't getting those messages from me on Telegram saying that close it, I'm closing out, taking partials, then y'all probably held the whole damn gold trade. So y'all probably made a full 2+1 on that, right? If you caught AU, you probably made a 1.8 plus on that, right? So technically speaking, y'all might have still, came through on another profitable week. I do know that EURUSD did straight up go and slap that stop loss there. So again, I don't know if I shared this indicator or not. Y'all go back last week and, don't quote me on it, but go back and check. But if I didn't, y'all know, if y'all held this in any kind of other way, cheers to y'all. But me personally, I did take a loss on this. And I only made partials on this. So, and personally, I did not take a, so, but I don't know, man. Y'all, if y'all caught some trades, cheers. As y'all can see overall, I just want y'all to know, as y'all can see overall, what's going on. Y'all see right now where all these charts are at. So I'm not gonna count it mentally. I'm just gonna let it be. We'll start fresh. I was trying to go for 56 weeks, the whole damn year, right? That's a stretch, but I'm happy with 11 weeks, 10, 11 weeks, whatever it is, to be honest with you. So that was pretty cool. So we'll reset the clock. It's all good, because I want to go for perfection. So if it wasn't perfection, I'm not gonna count it. So we'll reset the clock next week and we'll start fresh. Coin even did good too, even though I wasn't trading this or highlighting this mainly, but I did share this with y'all over the weekend that I was looking for, last week I was looking for further continuation down, but I didn't personally take this either, but we did get the correction straight into our premium and then a continuation down. So hey, that's last week. So that was pretty much everything that I talked to y'all about last week on YouTube. Now let's pretty much go through what we're going to look for this week. So we'll start off with Bitcoin. So this week on Bitcoin, last week, okay, we got the correction, right? So I actually think that this is now going to be our established high as we start to form this new lower trend of this lower high, lower low structure. And I do think we're going to end up respecting this area. Overall, structurally, this is the structural high that we have to hold in order to keep this basically a valid bearish, bias overall. So, but I do think now that we started to break down, that this might be now the new established high. Now, if we close, let me see, where are we on the 1? It's a stretch. Where are we on the 30-minute? And it's failing to close. So this is going to be your next key level to really confirm right here that this high is now established. So once this level is closed and broke, and this, I don't know, I don't really count this, to me, it's not enough. I want at least a little bit more, like maybe around here. That'd be a little bit more for me, even though this is technically speaking, it broke, but I need more to give me a little bit more conviction on that. So as of right now, it could still pull back up into maybe this range or so, or even to go back and tap into this daily FVG. But overall, I am expecting Bitcoin to continue towards the downside, take the low of 62, maybe even take the low of 60 to tap into potentially deeper, I would say, into that 53,000 to 58,000 range before heading back towards the upside. So be mindful on that. But personally, I would probably just be looking to target next week around that 62,700-ish range. So basically in here, this little pocket right here. All right, so that's Bitcoin. Gold is going to be one of my main focuses for next week. So this is actually already what I am looking at. So let me delete last week, clear this up some. Again, for those of y'all that are new to the stream, welcome. I have been trading for about 11 years. I basically primarily focus on smart money concepts and Elliott Wave trading. So that's kind of what you guys will get from me. Make sure y'all are subscribed so y'all don't miss out on any future updates. I drop updates on the weekends and midweek as well. So midweeks usually drop around Wednesday, and on the weekends you guys can usually expect an update around Saturday. What other updates do I have for y'all? So the mentoring giveaway. So for the rest of 2026, I am giving away a mentoring package for free every what did I say? 8 weeks. So is it 8 weeks? I think it's 8 weeks. Yeah, 8 weeks. Every 8 weeks, I'm gonna give away a mentoring package. I think it's 8 weeks or 4 weeks. I can't remember, y'all. Y'all let me know. I just be having a lot going on. I got multiple businesses, y'all. I be having a lot going on. But I'm pretty sure it's 8 weeks. But every 8 weeks, whoever's dropping comments on the YouTube videos, I'm gonna basically choose starting off to see who dropped the most comments. And then from there, they'll be put in a giveaway. Basically like a raffle. We'll do the raffle live on YouTube and then pick the winner. So we just picked the winner last week as well. So that clock is now reset. I think it was the week before last week, one of those weeks. But drop a comment, you basically get a chance to enter to win a free mentoring package. So something there for y'all. Other than that, man, that's all the quick updates. So let's dive back into the charts. So for gold this week, we are going to be looking at a small correction and then a continuation up. Now, we already made the correction, and I don't really use counter trend lines like that, y'all. It's not really my thing, but I did want to highlight this, that we did break out of this counter trend line. So right now, what I am looking at is two options. Either we just open market and then start to drop, because we basically are in the zone to where I am okay with actually taking the trade towards the downside. We do have a 1 hour FVG right here. So what we could do on market open, I'm trying to clear this chart. Where is this coming from? There. Okay. All right. So we could basically either, and I really think we might end up sweeping this high, tap into that 1 hour FVG and then head towards the downside. Either or. I'm already active in the trade. So I'm just kind of holding this throughout the weekend, but I am looking for price action to head down. So these are two options that you guys can potentially look at for this upcoming trading week for gold to overall make a movement towards the downside out of this range. One second, guys. Okay. So that is gold. Where are we next? EURUSD. So let's update EU. So for this week on EU, what I am going to look at, and I do think that this is going to be the established high, but to make sure that we are trading in line with everything, last week our original entry was basically here. Now this week, I do think that we might end up taking this area here and tapping into premium before we head towards the downside. Inside, let me go to the one drop on the inside. Inside, we have this 1 hour FVG, which is really what I like to target, and mainly that medium of that 1 hour FVG. But overall, we are going to be looking at this range for a retracement. My bad. Okay. For a continuation towards the downside. So I'm not going to be looking to buy this up at all. I'm only focusing on the sell. If I do sell it in here, my invalidation point for me is going to be this high. So I don't see it taking this high at all. Let me see what the risk to reward ratio would be. I'm only interested in entering in premium. So the moment that it taps above this high and right before premium, I'm cool with entering. If we enter here, we will still get a 2 to 1, huh? Yeah, okay. So we're going to give this more than enough wiggle room to hold this week. And I'm going to be looking at invalidation of this area for this week. And we'll hold that because that'll give us a 2-to-1. And we should be solid on that. We've broken down more than enough to not come all the way back up here. If it comes all the way back up here, that's a sign. So, and it's a sign that we don't want to see, right? Let's see. What else do I have for y'all? I think that's really it. I think this week I'm just going to focus on EU, gold, and basically Bitcoin. So those are the main three that I'm focusing on. And for the dollar this week, let's kind of finish up on the dollar overall so I can show y'all what I'm expecting on this. I know we kind of broke down what happened last week, but let me show you guys what I'm looking for this week. So we know that this was the overall level that price action held last week. Now we do have this 1 hour FVG right here. So an imbalance. Now, right above the imbalance, we have potential area of liquidity resting here. Now, same again with EU. It does not have to come all the way down here and do something like this and head up. If so, it would give us a nice ABC structure towards the downside for this is a corrective structure for y'all that don't know, for a movement towards the upside. Or price action is just going to make a small correction on market open and continue towards the upside. So one of these options is basically what I expect to happen on the DXY this week, before any kind of downside, taking this low. So invalidation basically is this low, and then upside movement to take this high. And we should extend further after this, but I don't like taking my weeks too far into the swing, if that makes sense. I like to kind of trade week by week, piece by piece. So kind of an intraday towards a swing, but you don't really catch me holding a trade longer than like 5 days. Like my average trade is like 2 to 3 days. So I don't know if you really want to call that a swing. It's not really necessarily intraday because it's not the same, it's not within the same day. But I'm not holding it for weeks. So, I'm in and out of the trade always within the same week generally. The only trade that I'm holding right now is gold, which is a carryover from Friday, literally. Or I think Thursday night. So yeah. Other than that, man, appreciate y'all for tuning in. Again, make sure y'all hit the subscribe button. Drop a comment to enter the mentoring package giveaway. Outside of that, man, that's all I really got for y'all. Also, the link to our free Telegram chat room community is down below. That's where I post all of the updates for these trades. So everything that pretty much any inner moves that I make, whether I don't want to take the trade no more, or I'm skipping it, leaving it alone, whatever the case may be, that update goes in the chat room, which is down below. Again, it's completely free. And outside of that, I will catch y'all throughout the week in the chat room, and I will see you guys again on Wednesday for the midweek update. I do move next week. So, next Monday, not the upcoming Monday, but on the 13th. So that whole trading week, I'm going to probably be a little bit, in and out, just because I'm going to be doing a lot. So just expect probably a little bit less content from that week. But from now until then, you guys got my attention. So I'll catch y'all later.